Okay, welcome everybody. I see we have 9 or 10 people on. Hi Sylvia from Indiana. Oh, a friend of Joyce Wilhelm. Oh, thanks for letting me know. I'm glad you're here, Sylvia. Hi Jackie and Sharon, Patricia, Catherine. You saw my hand. Okay. Who else is here? Joan Horner. Hi Janelle. Janelle Ellison, where are you from? Hi Mary Lou, thanks for sharing. If you would click the share, I would appreciate it very much. Hello, Candy Conway. And I got a little bit of happy mail to show you, so I'll start with that. This one is from a demonstrator from, I believe it's Midland, Texas. Midland, Sherry Waite from Midland, Texas. And she used the Timeless Tulips stamp set. Pretty little bit of bling there. Beautiful spring colors. Sherry and I know each other through Facebook and a mutual friend, but have never met in person. So I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting her someday. It won't be this year as all the Stampin' Up! In-person events have been canceled for us, but I'm sure at some point in time she and I will meet. And then this is a lovely Mother's Day card from my dear friend Joyce Wilhelm. And it's it's a double easel design, which was one of my Facebook Live demonstrations. So I love to see that people are using what they learned during my Facebook Live demonstrations. So, and she focused on the is it Peaceful Poppies paper and stamp set and all the coordinating products. So really lovely, and it looks really pretty upstairs on my mantle. Last Friday, I did a catalog pre-order unboxing, and I said I would have a giveaway. I drew the name afterwards, but I think I forgot to name the winner, and that winner is Tanya Toole from, I believe it's called Alligator Point, Florida. So I'll be sending Tanya this combo pack of the Forever Greenery ribbon and trim. So that'll go in the mail. I am a little bit behind on some of the recent prizes and card giveaways, but I'll be catching up on that by early next week. And if you would like to win a card from today, be sure and comment throughout the video, because each time you comment, you'll be entered into a drawing for the card I'm making at the end of this Facebook Live. Yes, Sylvia, I know, she's Joyce's sister. That's awesome. Joyce is a big recruiter of mine, so that's awesome. Okay, last week during that Friday new catalog pre-order unboxing, that's a mouthful to say, I had a request from somebody. This is an item that I showed, and it is called, and I have to keep peeking here because I can't remember this name, Lovely Pick-a-Punch, I think. Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. So Shanda Williams requested that I demonstrate this for all to see, so I am using this in today's projects. It's a pretty wide stamp set. This is our standard size, and then we have a couple smaller than this, and a couple little bit, one or two a little bit larger. So I think this is probably our largest punch we have. But there are it punches two different ends for your labels, and it also punches each of them in 3 sizes: 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch. And I wanted you to see, I don't know why this is bothering me, but I see smudges all over that, but it is, it's distracting me. Okay, so like all our others, you unlock from the bottom, and I'm using 3 colors of paper, black, basic gray, and smoky slate, to show you the comparison in each of these. Okay, so this is the top one. And again, this is Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. So it's super for layering. You can punch all kinds of things just with this single punch. And then it also, I'll show you also that it coordinates nicely with some of our other punches. Now this is the bottom label. So the one is rounded at the top and the other is flat. So that was 1 inch, and now I got a 3-inch piece of basic gray, and you can see that it fits right down into the grooves for each of the size or widths of the cardstock I'm using. And here's the 1/2 inch one, sits right down there in the 1/2 inch grooves. So with this, now it's easy for you to see the difference in the sizes. You can compare them this way as well. Okay. And then you can also see the difference in the shape quite clearly. So those are those two. You can see the difference here. And then this last one. So you get a good variety of shapes. You can make them in any size because you're simply slipping in, so any length will work, and it's 1/2 inch, 3-inch, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch punch. Okay, and of course you can mix and match. You can do something like this, okay, or you might do this. Okay, you might use each of these singly. You might use them in pairs, like that. Okay, you might even do something like this, where you're using all 3 sizes, but perhaps layering them in different ways. Something like that. Okay, so lots of fun to play with these. Gives you a lot of variety and a lot of opportunity to mix and match. So again, this is the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. So essentially it's like 6 different punches in one is what I would say. It does come as a bundle with the Lovely You stamp set, and I've already been working on cards using this stamp set because I'm going to be doing a class to go that features this bundle. So I'm excited about that, and it's just fun working on new projects with new products. So look for a class to go with the Lovely You bundle coming in June. I can't ever really advertise those classes and stuff until the beginning of June, so it'll be coming. Here is one card I made, and this features the top portion of the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. And I just cut strips. I cut 1 inch by 4 1/4 inch strips, and they fit so nicely, the 5 colors. These are the 5 new in colors. They are Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider, Magenta Madness, Bumblebee, and Just Jade. And this is one of the linen, not linen, I guess it would be called linen. Let me see if it says on here. I'm not seeing it here. No, just in color ribbon, but it's sort of, well, maybe it's like a twill, a soft twill is how I'll describe it. Okay. Yes, exactly, Sylvia. Punch both sides to make a label. I just wanted to show you the difference in the shapes and sizes. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what it's for. Hi, Peggy. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Katie. Okay, so that's what I did, exactly what Sylvia was talking about. Punch both ends to make a label. But instead of stamping on it, I just used it to create a fun and colorful card. Here, this little buckle piece is a new embellishment we have to go with the Old World suite. Now here's another version of that card, and you can see this time I used the bottom flat end for punching. Again, I used 1 inch by 4 1/4 inch strips. I punched some flowers. I just had it here. Some of you may have this from Celebration. This was one of the free products you could get, I believe, with a $100 purchase during Celebration, but it will be in our new annual catalog. So that's exciting because I love that punch. And then I used some of our 2020-2022 in color enamel dots for the centers and the Just Jade twill ribbon. All right. Now here, I actually stamped and punched a label, happy birthday label, with the classic label punch. And you can see how nicely this fits over the 1/2 inch size. So there's an opportunity to combine the new punch with one of our older ones. And that can be said for a lot of our different punches. The timeless label punch, you know, I love layering different punches. We have all kinds. Something like this. So consider that too. Don't limit yourself to using just one punch at a time. You can use 2 or even 3 to create something like this. Layered, I'll call them layered labels. Put these here. So there it is. And again, in these cards, I featured the newest in color. So there it is in Misty Moonlight. Here's a cute birthday card with the cinnamon cider. This is the Magenta Madness. The balloons were punched from our existing balloon punch. And I wanted to show you, what did I do with them? I only used the small balloons when I was punching, but I always punch both sizes. And then I'll stick these in a little cello bag and put them in with that paper. And now maybe I'll use those large balloons perhaps on a scrapbook page or something like that, or other cards. Here is the Bumblebee featured. And then lastly, I featured the Just Jade. All right, so there's 3 different cards I made focusing on the lovely label Pick a Punch. I do love these. They're simple and easy, and they're fun and colorful. Love everything about them. Oh, Janelle, you've got the punches coming. Hi, Janet. Candy, I agree. I love the punches. Hi, Peggy. Hello, Belle. Belle is one of my dear demonstrator friends from Minnesota, and I'm so proud of her. She had an awesome presentation on one of our on tour online what do I want to say, sessions yesterday. She did a fabulous job on her business presentation, and I didn't know she was doing it, so what a fun surprise when I tuned in and there she was. All right, so let me show you how I made this card, mainly because it's just a little bit different card sketch, card layout, but I also wanted to show you what I used to make the strings for the balloon. One of our retiring stamp sets and coordinating dies is the Beautiful Bouquet stamp set and the beautiful, or bouquet bunch dies. These are lovely. I've used them so much. The images here are a little bit smaller than the true stamps, but it's very easy to stamp and layer these because they are photopolymer. So that's pretty awesome. But it's this stamp, which I have right here. That's what I used for the balloons. Now I could have used this single one. I could have used that. whatever. And I don't care that those little bit of leaves are in there. It actually works out just fine. So let me show you what I did here. I need to grab a little piece of scrap paper. This will do. So I've cut a piece of white cardstock that is 2.5 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, 2.5 by 3 3/4. And I'm using smoky slate ink. And again, this is from the Beautiful Bouquet stamp set, which is retiring. So if you want it, get it soon before it's gone. It's a great one. And before I stamped on my cardstock, I actually stamped off because I didn't want them quite that, my balloon strings to look quite that bold. So I stamped off and then stamped on to get a lighter shade of the smoky slate. So from there, I mounted that on a piece of cardstock that measures 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And that makes a nice mat. And again, I get to feature the Misty Moonlight. I also cut a piece of the In Color Designer Series paper, 2 3/4 inches by 4. So it's the same size as the piece of cardstock, the colored piece of cardstock. And then I just started putting on some of these balloons I punched. I used the circle side before, so now I'm going to use this. It's sort of a, I'll say it's kind of a textile look to it. And what I did was I started by putting the coordinating color balloon, and you don't have to do it this way, do it any way you want, but I just started so I knew I'd get some variety in all 5 of the cards. I coordinated the first balloon with my cardstock color. And then the others I just tucked in and around the others like that. Now a couple of them I did pop up with dimensionals because, well, because that's me. You know I love my dimensionals. How many of you have this balloon punch? It is awesome. It's not just for birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, just for fun. Any kind of celebration. Little kids love balloon cards. It's awesome. And I love that it punches 2 sizes of balloons. And it's as easy as that. So let's put these main pieces on our card front. I started by putting this printed one on. One thing I want to point out to you, well, 2 things actually. I was curious, what are the words? And there is one line in here from our Stampin' Up! Mission statement, and it reads, to love what we do and share what we love. And then that's repeated throughout, but in all the different languages that we service with Stampin' Up! Because we are a global country and around the world. So when you have something with printed words like that, be sure and take a look so that when you are adhering that cards or that piece of designer series paper, you have it going in the right direction. And then I'm going to adhere the layers with the balloons. I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch margin or border around the cards. Got a little fuzz sticking out there. Okay. And then lastly, I have a 1/2 inch piece of designer series paper, and I'll cut the ends of that, but I'm going to stamp a sentiment. Let's see if I have something. Now I used Itty Bitty Greetings. So it's always fun to be able to stamp it on here And then, you know what, we might try something different. Maybe we'll stamp it and punch it with the punch, the new punch. I was looking to see if there's a congratulations. I thought there was. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to use that, the congratulations. There's a happy graduation in here, all kinds of good things. Now, the Stampin' Up! In color ink pads are not available yet, so I don't have them either. But I figured the Night of Navy comes pretty darn close to this. In fact, that's what I did on these cards. I'll show you. I used Melon Mambo. It's pretty close to Magenta Madness. I used Shaded Spruce to coordinate with the Just Jade. Mango Melody coordinates with the Bumblebee. Early Espresso is a good coordinating ink for the Cinnamon Cider, and then the Night of Navy. So that's what I'm going to use here. I should have pulled out a smaller. Whoops, hold on. Wants to slide off. This is one of those old ones. I love that we now have those cling labels, cling stamps, because they don't fall off the block. I'm going to let that dry a minute. But while I'm doing this, I am going to look at the size of this, and I can see that I probably want about, I'm going to do a 3-inch piece of the DSP. Oh, you know what? I said I was going to go wider, didn't I? Let me do that. So I'll pull out one of my scraps. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch here. You can see that fits right in, I believe. And then I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and use a 1 inch. Or maybe a 3/4 inch, I think. One might be just a little bit overpowering for that small sentiment. And before I use the round end on the other balloon punches, so I think I'll use the one that has the flat end, and I'll punch both ends. What I can tell you is when you are punching these ends, it takes off approximately 1/8 of an inch, okay, about 1/8 of an inch. So that can kind of help you figure when you want to compare the sizes. So, okay, so that was 3 inches. So I think I'll make this about, I want to make sure I get centered. I'm going to make this 2.5 inches. And if you're making a lot of these, it might be a good idea to, oh, that's not real even, is it? So we'll go a little smaller, just to center it. It might be a good idea for you to stamp your sentiment and then do the punching, and you can, that will help you figure out what size of strips you need. Now this one's getting pretty little, so let me show you what I'm going to do to make sure I can hold it easily. I'm just going to use the corner of a Post-it note and slide it in that way. I want to make sure it's down in the grooves. There it is. Whoops. And slide it out. And that looks pretty good. So Post-it notes are definitely a must at your craft table. They're very helpful when you're trying to punch small pieces. All right, now I think that looks pretty good. I like that. So I'm going to, I'm actually going to pop the sentiment up on the Misty Moonlight label. On my other balloon cards, I adhered the sentiment to the DSP with my multi-purpose glue. and then did dimensionals under this layer. But I'll just change it up a little bit. Okay, so here's a comparison. Okay, this was done with the classic label punch and the 1/2 inch rounded end of our lovely labels punch. And then this was done with the 1/2 inch strip on the straight end punch. And then I used a 3/4 inch strip of DSP, again on that flat end. Now I think we should probably add a little bit of bling to this. So I'm going to pull out, hi Amy Duncan, nice to have you. Trying to decide, do I want them there? I think I'm going to put them up here on the white. Show up a little more. These in color enamel dots are fabulous. I had to do some swap cards for a mail-in swap I was doing, and this is what I have left of doing one swap and then my own cards and samples, but they're fun. I'll have to get some more of those when I can. Hi Lisa Johnson. Oh, I wonder why your notices are coming late. Okay, so that is the demonstration for the lovely label Pick-a-Punch. And again, it gives us 2 shapes in 3 different sizes, 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1/2 inch. Alrighty. And it also has a coordinating stamp set, lovely you. And this bundle will be the feature for one of my June classes to go. So I hope you look forward to that. Yes, it does help, Lisa, doesn't it, to be able to see them like this. I was also telling the gals that we can also, might as well go ahead and cut the other ends. And these are just 4 1/4 inch strips that I've cut. Or maybe they were 4 inch. Nope, they were 4 1/4. Just like the others. So now you can see what they look like cutting both. And the wonderful thing about this too is, I mean, you could even have pretty strips punched for your scrapbook pages. Just cut 12-inch lengths and then punch the ends. And that would be a nice addition to scrapbook pages. Again, when you're doing this, make sure they're fitting in, your strips are fitting right down into the grooves. Are there any, whoops, any questions about today's presentation, about new catalogs? What else? You can see they're all the same length when they're done because that's what I started with. But it gives you a good idea of how you can layer the different labels. And again, mix and match. Don't be boring, mix and match. Okay? Something like that. I love these guys. Okay, any questions? Lots of new products coming to us in June. And I will be sharing some more samples throughout the remainder of May. And then come the beginning of June, I will have some classes to go to sell to you. I am also finishing up details for my paper share, my DSP share, a ribbon share, and also an in-color club. The in-color club, you'll spend a certain amount each month, and I will tell you what that is based on the things that you will be getting. But for 5 consecutive months, each month you will receive all the products for one in color. The second month we'll do another color, 3rd, 4th, and 5th month. So by the end of the 5th month, you will have all of the products in the 5 in colors: the cardstock, the ink pad, re-inkers, markers. I'm trying to think what else. You will have enamel dots. You'll get some of the designer series paper in each of the 5 colors. You will also get Stampin' Blends. Now, Stampin' Blends come in 4 colors, not the Bumblebee, but I will have another coordinating product for that month. So it's a great deal. It's a good way for you to be able to get all the in-color products, but not have to buy them all at once and break the bank. And with that, each month, I will give you a tutorial to make 3 different cards featuring that color. Alrighty, so look for that information coming very soon. I hope you have a wonderful day. I don't know if you could hear this, but it just started storming in Columbus, Ohio, just a few minutes after I got started. So, but that's okay. I've got a really busy day coming up, so all is good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. And one of you will be receiving the card I made. All right, so if you are watching but have not commented, go ahead and comment now, okay? All right, that's all I have for you today. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.